Hello and welcome back to Writer's Workshop. Today is session 6. We've only got 3 more sessions. Session 6 is all about reviewing your work. But before we do, again, we should probably check in on Calvin. He's struggling. In fact, this is actually a different presentation that Calvin is going. He's done another report, another research essay, and he's presenting. This one is about the brain. So we find him here at the front of the class. He says, my 5-minute report is on the brain. Of course, it's difficult to explain the complexity of the brain in just 5 minutes. But to begin, the brain is part of the central nervous system. It sounds like he's done a little bit more research. But then he looks at his watch. I'll pause for a few minutes so you can all finish writing that one down. And you hear the teacher yelling at him, Calvin! Obviously, Calvin has not done a whole lot more research. It hasn't got much better than the time he wrote about bats being bugs. But hopefully, these things that we're teaching you will help you to avoid embarrassing situations like Calvin has found himself in. Okay, we're moving quite a bit farther now into the writing process. Remember way back when we talked about planning. We talked about setting aside time to research, to gather your information. Now we've just completed a time of writing where you've put your information into paragraphs. You've put them and organized your writing. And you've even gotten to the point where last week we asked you to go over your writing and look for mistakes and make corrections. So today we're actually going to give you the skills that are going to be helpful for when you are reviewing your own work. I'm going to be honest. I find proofreading or editing, I find that to be one of the most difficult things to do well. A, sometimes I haven't left enough time to do it. Or B, sometimes I'm just sick of the work I've been doing and I just want to hand it in and I don't care enough about how I'm going to do. So those are some reasons why reviewing can be difficult. But also, sometimes when you read your work, it looks fine. You wrote it down, so it's what you wanted to have written down on the page. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks to help you review in a way that actually makes a difference in your writing. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is proofreading. And the purpose of proofreading is reading over your whatever you've written and looking for things that don't look quite right. Okay? And so what I do when I proofread is I actually read it out loud. And I read it slowly, and I read the words that are on the page. Because sometimes your brain can do little tricks on you, and you end up reading what you want to see on the page, or what you meant to say, instead of what is actually written there. So if you're going to proofread by yourself, read it out loud, and read every word. But even better than that, and I know sometimes this is hard to do, is get somebody to proofread your work for you. And even if they're not super smart or older than you, you could get your younger brother and sister to read what you've written out loud to you. And if you see that they're struggling with something you've written, that can be the alert to tell you that it's maybe a little bit awkward the way it's written, or it's confusing, or maybe you've just written it wrong. But the best case scenario, if you have somebody older who you really trust, sometimes it's frustrating because they can find lots of mistakes and you feel bad about yourself, but don't. This is the time, this is a part of the process of making your work stronger. And even though you shouldn't have your parent write your work for you, to have them help you with your writing is just smart. If I was a professional writer, and this is something I get paid for doing, if I'm writing for a magazine or something, when I write it all down, somebody is going to look over my work. They're not just going to print it based on what I put there. They're going to look it over and they're going to edit it and they're going to change stuff. And that happens even to professional writers. So don't feel bad if your parent or somebody older or older brother or sister or something, if they find mistakes. If they find mistakes, that means they found it and you can correct it before the teacher finds mistakes. So it's a good thing. That's proofreading. Editing can be difficult too, but it's easier with technology. Let me tell you a trick that you probably all already know. But if you use your computer, whether it's Google Docs or whether it's some other kind of writing program, most of them today have spell check and grammar check. And most of the time you don't even have to flick a switch. It will alert you if you have a spelling mistake or a grammar problem right as you're typing. I burped. Normal teachers would edit that out, but I'm human. I burp. That's life. When it comes to your writing, if you've done it on Google Docs, for example, if you spell a word that Google does not recognize, it's going to put red squiggly lines under your work. So one of the easiest things to do is to look over your work, and if your eyes see a red squiggly line, give that word your attention. Now, here's something that you need to know. Sometimes, so for example, if my name is David, that's my secret name. You can call me Mr. Buzza, but my name is David. If you write the name David, it might not recognize it because it's a person's name. And Google doesn't have a dictionary of every human's name on the planet. So a lot of times, whether it's the name of a place or if it's the name of a person, those are called proper nouns, and those will often have red squiggly lines under them. So if you look at it and you see, oh, David, okay, that's my name. That's what I meant to write. I'm going to ignore that red squiggly line. But if you see a word and you look at it and you're like, oh, I spelled that wrong, and you can make the correction, then the red squiggly line will go away. Or if you look at it and you're going, I don't know what's wrong with it. Most of the time you can right click and it'll give you the proper spelling for that word. Click on it. I'm going to tell you something. When I receive an assignment from students and it's in a Google Doc, and if I see red squiggly lines and the student just hasn't corrected it, it tells me that they just didn't give a rip. They did not care enough to fix their spelling. And I make my mean teacher face and the mark starts sinking lower and lower and lower. It's just something that's frustrating for teachers. I'm going to say it again. Teachers are human. We get frustrated when it doesn't look like you've done the best work you can do. So that's one way you can check for spelling. The other thing you can do is you look for blue squiggly lines. And is blue or green, that usually refers to grammar mistakes, where you've spelled the words correctly, but maybe they're in the wrong order, or you've used the word incorrectly. And just like with spelling, if you right-click on it, it'll give you a suggestion for something that might be better. And what I would do is, if you don't know how to make that blue squiggly line go away, and if Google won't help you, ask a proofreader, ask a parent or somebody older than you, tell me what's wrong with this and fix it. Because once again, if I get work it's full of blue squiggly lines, I get frustrated and the marks go down, down, down. You don't want that. All right, finally, punctuation. This will get caught with the blue squiggly lines as well. But make sure every sentence ends with some form of punctuation. And don't overdo it with exclamation marks. You might be really excited about what you learned about C.S. Lewis, but don't get too carried away. All right? If you attend to those things, it's like polishing up your paper and making it the best it can be. And you're going to find that your teachers love it, that your marks are going to go up, and you're going to feel better about what it is you've done. With that in mind, here's the final assignment, this is the next assignment for next week, for our next session. What I want you to do is take what you've written and turn it into your final copy of an essay, where you've got your 5 paragraphs all polished up, and it is as good as you can make it. That's your job for next time we get together. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next week.